Okay, good evening. Welcome to What's New. Tonight we have some lovely guests, and we have speakers on aging matters and also on a book of the River Voss, right? Okay, we welcome you all to the show, and I have to apologize. You have to look at me tonight because ours is not here, and the girl that we had hoped would come on to help us, she's got the flu. So we're kind of just stuck with me. So I'll introduce first. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Kathy Bolus,
And
and
you're
I
with
work
the-
for Aging Matters, which
Okay.
is the area agency on aging for this region. Do you want me to go on?
And then I'll have you to introduce yourself too.
Okay, I'm Jerry Klein.
And I'm Jeannie Stolzer.
Okay, and you're with the,
Well,
book?
we wrote the book on River Ava.
okay, all right. So our first speaker is going to be Kathy this evening.
Okay. Well, I'm so honored to be here with you all.
Well, honored to have you.
Yeah, I, as I said, work with Aging Matters. I've been there for about 17 years, so obviously I like the organization. We're a nonprofit organization. We've been around since the 70s. Most people know us for our senior centers because that program has probably been around the longest, and it has a good deal of visibility in the community. The other programs that we offer, though, the Area Agency on Aging is really, or Aging Matters, is really a great resource for seniors and their family caregivers. We offer an information and assistance program, which just means that if you have questions about insurance problems, Medicare, Medicaid, Med D, those girls do Medicare boot camps. They have all the stuff you want to know, and they are so knowledgeable and so good to help.
Where are you located at?
Our main office is in Cape Girardeau, but we cover 18 counties in southeast Missouri. So essentially the bottom quarter of southeast of Missouri.
When you come up here, do you have an office up here that you,
We don't have a permanent office. My office is a blue Subaru that's parked outside.
oh, okay.
I work out of my car, and with today's technology, truly we can do so much without having to be in a physical office. But we do get around and cover our counties. It's not unusual to be in anywhere from Cardwell to St. John in the same week. So, and if you don't know, Cardwell is way down south.
Oh, no, I've never heard of it.
It's down on the Arkansas border. It's way down there. So, but we have a lot of services for seniors. The program that I work for is the Family Caregiver Support Program, and our aim is to help people who are taking care of loved ones at home. It's the unpaid family members and friends who are taking care of a loved one at home. So, and we find that those guys, they need support, they need some help. It's a big job, it's a huge
It is.
job. And if we can support them, then they may be able to do that for longer. They may be able to be a caregiver for a little bit longer. Now, from my standpoint, I think that's healthy. I think the longer a person can stay at home and be with their family, it's probably a little bit healthier for them. From a governmental standpoint, you know, the reason that we have funding for this type of program is because it's a huge savings. If you think about the cost of nursing home care and what supporting a caregiver so they can do that for even 1 month longer, what a huge savings that is, you know, across the board, across the numbers of seniors who might get to stay home that little bit longer, you know, for the support they're given, as opposed to having to enter a facility. So, so I'm kind of happy that they are thinking that way. This program has been around for 17 years, and so, you know, we've been around. Some of the things that we do to help those caregivers are we provide respite care. Respite care is a way for the caregiver to get a break, and we have several different kinds of respite. Here in St. Genevieve, we have a contract with St. Elizabeth's Adult Daycare.
Oh, okay.
That's an awesome place. so that there might be some funding assistance if someone wanted to take a loved one there and get a little bit of time out. We also have in-home respite care, which is a contracted provider or a company that would come into the home. In this county, we have Pyramid Tri-County as our provider, and they would send someone to the home who's been trained to care for your loved one. You know, it's not a huge amount of time. We have like 4 hours a week that we can give someone in home. And then we have a self-directed respite, which is a small reimbursement for anything you would pay out. Like if the caregiver hired someone on their own, then they would send us a billing and then we would reimburse them $70 a month. It's not huge, but it gives you a little bit of a break. And that's so important. Respite care is important. They're so much more likely to be successful if they can get some respite care, because, well, if you think about it, it's like this cup. If you guessed how much this cup weighed, it might only be a few ounces. And if I held it for a minute, it wouldn't be any big deal. If I held it for an hour, my arm might be kind of sore. If I tried to hold it for a whole day, you probably would need to call an ambulance. And, you know, just like the cup, you need to be able to put that responsibility down for a little bit of time and rest and get some respite for the caregiver. It's not so much the actual weight of the cup, but how long you have to hold it. So, as caregiving can often be a 24/7 job, you know, you may not get a break. It's just so important for them to really make a way to get a break, to get some respite. And I skipped a little bit through some of the things I was going to say, but respite is just so very important. One of the other ways that we support caregivers is we have small $250 supplies assistance grants. Those are most often used for incontinent products, but they can be used for other things. We go in and we do an assessment, and we can determine what that family needs the most to help them care for their loved one. I have done things as unique as a water jug with a spout on it for a family that had no running water, and their mom had gotten to where she couldn't pick up the gallon jug anymore and get her own water. So she just thought that was Christmas, you know, that camping jug with a tap. She was thrilled. So we can look at each situation individually. We don't have, it's not cookie cutter, everybody gets X number of pull-ups, and, you know, it's not like that.
Each case is individual, and
We
you
look at-
assess it and do according to what the assessment is.
Correct. And now I always think it's important to let everybody know that it's a limited fund, so we cover 18 counties, so we don't get to provide it to everyone who applies. The assessments that we do help us determine who's in the most need. We do get to provide about 24 to 26 of those grants a month. So that's a pretty significant number, you know, when you think about a whole year's worth. And it makes a difference, you know. When we do provide, the most common thing are those incontinent products, and when we do provide those, we purchase them wholesale, so we can get almost twice as much with our $250 as you would be able to get off the shelf at, you know, at a local store. So, and we've worked pretty hard to make sure that those funds are well used, and that we can get the most out of them possible for our caregivers. So some of the other things that we do are education and information for caregivers, and that's part of how I got to be here tonight. We have a caregivers coalition that's putting together educational events for this area. We will have one in November. We had one last March, and we intend to have one next March. And so I'm hoping that people will kind of keep that in the back of their mind and come join us. When we do those, we have a number of really good speakers and lots of activities, you know, lots of resource booths. So kind of make it a one-stop shop for caregivers. You can come out and see all of the resources that may be available to help, because sometimes it's just hard to get to talk to some of these folks. If you've got a veteran who is eligible for veteran services but perhaps isn't using them because the system is not always that easy to access, well, we've got a representative from the Veterans Administration.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so we try to think about what's the most useful for those caregivers and provide that. And so we're, like I said, looking at doing that next spring. We will have an educational event in the fall we're going to look at scamming and how to avoid that. We think the fall is a good time to hit that, possibly because people may be getting ready to shop online for the holidays and some things like that, where it makes you a little bit more vulnerable. So we're excited about that, looking forward to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of scamming out there.
There is. We did a class called Computer Savvy Caregivers last year at the library, and our speaker went around the table and there were, I think, 18 people there that night, and every one of them had a scam story.
Oh, gosh.
Every one of them. So yeah, it's out there, and as long as we're aware and safe, and it's important to remember, a lot of times seniors will not tell somebody because they're a little embarrassed. But there were people my age and younger in the group who had also been scammed, so it's not necessarily related to age. I think that lack of knowledge can make you a little more vulnerable, so somebody who doesn't necessarily handle a computer and digital stuff daily might be more at risk than somebody who does, so we just want to help educate people and get that information out, hopefully in a good time frame. So also, anytime a caregiver has a question about a disease process or they're looking for information, they can call us. Our phone number is 1-800-392-8771.
3928.
771. Yes,
771.
8771. My extension is 121. We do have a voice automated system, but if you know my extension, it's easy to get to me. So that extension 121 is important. You'll
Okay.
want that.
That's nice to know, because sometimes you hear of people, like when my husband got down, I had no idea who to call, what to do,
Mhm.
or anything else. But,
Yeah, that's common. It's
yeah.
it's like kind of like having babies. Nobody takes a class to raise a child before they have a child. They have a child and then they figure out what to do. Well, it's kind of like that when our parents or spouses have to deal with chronic illness. We don't get that class beforehand.
No.
It's just you wake up one day and there it is. And it's a little bit hard. It would be really nice if we didn't have to plan in catastrophic events. And you can do some of that. It's good to get information and start to learn ahead of time, find out what resources are out there, like us, like the agency. So at least then you know where to go when things change.
So actually, you take in all aspects of the aging. I mean, when a person gets down, you take all the all the things.
We have information on all
everything.
of that. Yes,
Okay.
we do. We're a great place to start, really, just because we do have such a wide range of services and information.
Mhm.
I can't say enough good things about our INA team. They're awesome and wonderful, and they are so smart. I don't try to figure out the Medicare and Medicaid issues myself, but I sure do know where to send people. Our INA team, they've got it down, because that material changes you know.
It sure does.
And it's, the specifics of any given case can make a big difference in the outcome. So it's just really good to know, that you can call us and we can help.
So if anybody has any questions about any of that, this is their 800 numbers one to call.
Yes, that's the same number for all of us.
Okay.
And I did skip one of our programs, is a in-home chore and personal care services. And unlike most of the funded services that are out there are funded through Medicaid. So of course people have to be Medicaid eligible, which is a very low income. Our home chore and personal care, it's not a huge program, but you don't have to be Medicaid eligible. In fact, Shirley Bentley is in charge of that, and she focuses on people who are not Medicaid eligible. Those folks who are just out of the guidelines, and you know how it is. If you own a home and you've got enough in the bank to cover the water heater that may go out or the roof that may go bad, well, guess what? You're probably not eligible.
No,
So,
you're on the borderline.
yeah.
I know what that's like.
Yeah. So we have those services. Of course, there's a waiting list, but, they're there. So, I don't know how much more you want to hear about caregivers.
Whatever you've got, we will be glad to take, because this is,
Okay.
we have so many people that are living to be older age
Yes.
group. I
Yes.
don't want to say this, well, I'm an older age group.
Yeah.
You
People
get-
are living longer, and then we've
Yes.
got that lovely group of baby boomers. And they're, just as they did when they were children, they're just kind of exploding the population.
And you don't know when you need care, just like
Yeah.
I was with my situation. I didn't need any care until all of a sudden, boom, the whole world just,
Everything
Turn
can
upside down.
change so quickly, so quickly. Well, in this country, a lot of times you'll hear people say, oh, they don't take care of their loved ones at home anymore, and,
oh, I
but-
told you that.
yeah, sometimes you'll hear that, but truthfully, that's not the fact. Only 2% of the people between 65 and 85 live in nursing homes. Only 2% are.
Really?
Yes, I wanted to double check my factor. I thought, wait, did I? Yeah, 2%. But now when you get from 85 up, it goes to 14% are in nursing facilities. But still, that's only 14%. So there's still, 80, oh my,
You're
I'm
still
gonna have to
talking
do math
about
on
like-
camera. 89% that are out
Yeah.
in the community, living in homes. So that's not what we really, our perception often is. And I think part of that's because we can see that group that's in the nursing home, they're visible. So it seems to us that all of our seniors are in nursing homes, but they're not. They're out in the community being cared for by family members or taking care of themselves. You don't notice that 96-year-old who's still on the golf course, So, 26% of the adult population in the United States have been caregivers in the last year. So if you know 4 people, you know somebody who's caregiving, and that's a huge, huge number. More than 50 million. Of those 26% or of that 50 million, 56% of that are spousal caregivers. And that's really big, because if you look at those spousal caregivers, that's a group that just fascinates me, because they're so close in age. They're very often dealing with the same or very similar health problems. Sometimes when I go visit folks, I'm not sure who's the caregiver and who's the care receiver. And also they have limited resources. They may have challenges with transportation, because maybe neither one of them should really be driving. They have so many more challenges, but boy, they are stepping up, and they are still taking care of each other and doing the best that they can. So those families are always really interesting to me when I go visit them. I like to talk to them. Caring for somebody who's ill is almost impossible to understand unless you've been through it. I mean, how can you possibly squeeze everything you have to do into one day with little no sleep. You know, people who are sick, they often don't sleep, so you don't get to sleep. How can your body replenish itself without any, without decent nutrition or rest or even air sometimes, even to get outside in the fresh air? How can your relationships last without any time to commit to them? How can you ever get everything done? How can you keep going? Well, you can't. You just have to halt. HALT is an acronym that stands for hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. And I tell caregivers when they experience these things, they need to stop and look at what's going on with them, because those are often signs of stress. And if, the earlier you can catch stress and work with it or deal with it, then the better it is. The easier it is, the fewer side effects you have, because there are side effects to stress.
Yes, there are.
Yeah. We want to talk hungry. You can be hungry in a lot of different ways. It may be you haven't had a good meal in a few days. You haven't had time to eat. It's been fast food drive up. So you just need a good meal. But also you can be spiritually hungry. Maybe you haven't had a chance to go to church if that's what you do, or get some alone time. Those things are important. So you have to look at how you're hungry and feed that, not just eat the pan of brownies because that's what feels good at the moment. You have to really kind of assess what that hunger is. Angry caregivers can be angry at healthcare professionals, other people who are helping them, at their loved ones. Sometimes they can be just angry because there doesn't seem to be any help. Lonely, it's not uncommon for caregivers to express that they are isolated, or they feel isolated because it's hard to get out sometimes. So, it's not unusual that they might feel lonely, and that's a burden in itself. So you want to, be aware of that. I'm tired, oh my gosh, how can a caregiver not be tired sometimes? But what you want to do is pay attention to those things and recognize them as soon as possible, and then start to look for ways to de-stress that situation. And there are some good ways to do that. One is ask for help and learn how to accept help. A lot of times when I'm talking to family caregivers, I will hear, oh, I've got 7 brothers and sisters, but nobody helps. And sometimes that's factual, because not everybody has that talent. I think caregiving's a gift, and it's like painting. You either can or you can't. With caregiving, if you can't, you really shouldn't. Probably painting is the same way, although nobody gets hurt with a paintbrush usually. But there are, you want to learn to ask for help. A lot of times I find that these folks who tell me they have this huge family and nobody helps, it's because they don't know how to ask. Because we're not raised that way.
No.
If we ask for help, then makes you feel like you're not doing what you should be doing. You're a little weak, oh my gosh, what if they actually tell me no? But if you learn how to ask for help, it's like, your friends or your family will say, now, if I can help you, call me. Or it's, something you holler as you're leaving and running to the car, just let me know if I can do anything. Well, I would hold them to that. And there are some ways to do that, because so often we go, oh no, I got this, I'm fine, I'm just here at the house all day with mom, I cook a little something, I clean a little something, it's okay. Really, it's not. It builds up. It's like that cup. It's like the longer you try to hold it, the harder it is for you to maintain that.
Mm-hmm.
So what you can do, I was like, oh, I hope that's not mine. What you can do is make lists of jobs, and hard jobs, easy jobs, and medium jobs. That's okay. You gotta love cell phones. And then
I
when
forgot to turn it off.
that's okay. Did you get it?
No, I couldn't turn it off. If I can remember how to turn it off.
I've actually sat on mine before when it was going off, stuck it on my legs, thankful for chubby thighs, yeah. But the job list is really a successful way to do that. That way when someone says, can I help or can I do something, you've got it there. If you do it ahead of time, it's so much easier than trying to negotiate that at the moment somebody's probably getting ready to leave or, something like that. So if you've got your job list, you can hand them to them and say, would you pick something else on this list? It would really help me. And you can put things on there that you can do yourself, but oh my goodness, wouldn't it be nice if somebody would bring over a casserole, even just once a month? That's one meal you don't have to cook. And part of that's, as I said, learning to accept that help. You should learn how to ask for it, but you also have to learn how to accept it. And people, sitting with your loved one might be more challenging for someone, given, whatever circumstances you have to deal with that person. Some people can be quite ill or quite confused, and other people may not be able to deal with that. Fine. Don't give them that list. Let them pick off of the list that says, pick up some groceries for me while you're at Walmart or whatever at the grocery store. So that's a really important skill to learn. Setting boundaries is important. If your loved one gets upset every time your niece brings the 3 children who are all under 5 because it's a lot of activity and a lot of noise and they're great kids, but then you have to deal with your loved one being upset and anxious and agitated for the rest of the evening. So it's okay to say, I really would love to see the kids and I would really love to see you, but can we keep this visit to about 45 minutes because, they get upset. And that's a skill, and don't beat yourself up if you can't do it because it takes a little bit of time to learn it, but you have to think about it, and kind of make a plan and know what you want to do with each person. So, and then take time for yourself. And I always hesitate to say that because sometimes that feels like just one more doggone thing on that list of stuff I gotta do today. They're telling me to take time for myself. But if you seek respite care and find a way to get that, and you may have to be a little creative if there are not funds there for it, or some funding source you can access, find a neighbor, some of your church family member, somebody who because it doesn't have to be all day. 2 or 3 hours, that's wonderful. That's plenty of time to go down and get your hair set, Go get a massage if there is such thing, in your area. But, so it's important to take time for yourself, but don't see it as another chore, Find your respite, and then whatever feels good to you, if it's a nap on the couch, then that's your time off. Some other things that can help that we found out that, that there's evidence and research to back up is exercise. We know that exercise is really good, and I'm almost done. Exercise is good in several ways. Creates endorphins, which are feel-good chemicals.
Oh, yeah.
And those are natural, so it doesn't cost anything and there's no side effects. It also strengthens your muscles so that you can better meet the challenges of caregiving, because there can be a physical aspect to that, and just the tensing and flexing of muscles has it has the effect of making you relax. So, and that's just, you can't, and there are lots of ways to do that at home. You don't have to go get a gym membership or jog for 5 miles. Thank goodness. There are CDs that are walking CDs, and you walk up like a mile, an equivalent of a mile, but you do it all right there on your living room floor. They're not terribly expensive. They're pretty easy to find. I think most of the local chain stores will carry them. And there's lots of different ones, but I always tell people pick something easy. Don't pick the rock hard abs or whatever, because that's going to kill you. But, the walking tapes, or even throwback to some of the old Gene Simmons, those were hilarious. CDs and tapes. Something that's fun and easy. Easy. Think easy. So, also, another tool that helps with stress reduction is meditation or prayer, or some of both. I have guided imagery CDs that I listen to that I find very helpful. At one point in my life, I had to take chemotherapy, and it was kind of a tough time and a stressful time. And and
Allergies.
I started listening to them then, and it's kind of a skill. You grow it. The more you do meditation or guided imagery, relaxation, the better you get at it. After a while, it got to where all I really had to hear was the lady say her name. At the beginning of the CD, she goes, "Hello, my name is Kelly Howe." Start to relax and feel the effect of that. And so I always enjoy those, and if I can't sleep, that's my go-to. Prayer, of course, prayer is always going to be beneficial. Not everybody prays. I say give it a try. Journaling is one of my favorite tools, and when I first heard of it or thought about it, I really didn't like it, because I felt like journaling, well, you guys probably really love to journal, but journaling, I thought, had to be worthy of leaving to my heirs. It needed to be a novel. It needed to be perfect and well written, and it doesn't. Journaling can be anything from a bullet dot list of what's driving you crazy today. There's one type of journaling where you just absolutely unload all of the negative thoughts in your head and then destroy the paper. So you don't even keep it, You can destroy it in whatever manner you want to, if that's a shredder or the barbecue pit, whatever works. But it has a very therapeutic effect. It's kind of a releasing effect and gets the thoughts out of your head. There's a type of journaling called gratitude journaling, which is my favorite. It's so simple. Anybody can do it, and it doesn't cost anything, and studies have been done that actually show it's as effective or more effective than some of the traditional manners of treating, like anxiety and depression. With gratitude journaling, all you do is every day you write down 3 things that you're grateful for and why you're grateful for them. You just do that every day, and it's simple, cheap, no side effects. I keep a small journal in my purse, and that's where I do my gratitude journaling. And what it does is it reinforces the positive thoughts and keeps you kind of more on that level and less dwelling on the negative. But I was really impressed with the results of the studies they had done on that. If you ever get a chance, look it up, because it's pretty impressive. I don't want to look like I'm offering medical advice here on TV, so I'm not going to tell you anymore, but look it up. It's out there. And I think I mentioned that we had our educational event coming up in November, and that we're going to talk about scams with that one. And I believe that is everything I have.
Now, how can anyone, if someone has someone in the house that they want to provide for, how can they get in touch with you? Who can they call? Or
I'll give you that number. It's 1-800-392-8771.
And that goes under Aging
Matters. That's our main
Okay.
phone line in. And then the other number is 573-335-3331. My extension is 121, and that will make it easier to get to me.
Okay, 573-335-3.
Yes, and then 3331. Lots of threes.
Whoops. Okay, start all over. 573.
573-335-3331.
Okay,
Yeah.
I missed the 3 in there. That's where I was.
I know, there's a lot
Okay.
of threes. So.
Okay, very good. Because I know there's a lot of times,
And an extension.
121 is my extension.
a lot of times you need to ask questions. He needed
Yes,
help.
and that's what we're there for. That's what we're there for.
Well, if anybody has a question, I don't know if you want to stay around for a little while, you may do so.
I'll be happy to.
And we enjoyed this, and you've given a lot of information, a lot of things I wish I had had years ago.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Would have helped me out a heck of a lot. But enjoyed it, and if anybody has any questions, then we have this phone number that I can give to them. If you have questions, we have the Aging Matters, and I have the phone number, and I also have Kathy's number and her extension. So if anybody has anything they'd like to ask or more information, we can contact her, and maybe this number, and we can contact her.
All right.
We have two other lovely ladies here. And they are Jean Stolzer and Jerry Klein. Put my glasses on. And they're going to talk about their book, The River of Oz.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you all research this
This
book?
is the book.
Oh, my.
Okay, there's 572 pages, and there is actually at least one picture, if not multiple pictures on every page except 10.
Oh, my.
Okay, we went ahead and we was able to get a picture of all the priests, and
Well, not all of them.
just about,
Yeah.
just about all the priests and just about
Sisters.
all the sisters, and a little bit about, you know, when they were born and when they taught at River of Ava. We started the thing with just talking about life, you know, back in the earlier days, you know, the washing machine, the telephone, you know.
Oh,
with the,
yes.
You know, the ones that everybody has forgotten about, especially the younger people didn't even know about. And then from there, we went on and we talked about things that are still done today, the butchering, the farming, all of that. And we went to the church, and there was actually two churches there. The first one was built along a creek, and it was destroyed in flood. And so they built another one. That one there, the one that was destroyed by a flood was St. Anthony's.
Oh,
And then there was one built, Philip Yokerst had donated some land up on the hill, and they built St. Philip's and James.
The present one that's there now.
Right.
now
So-
did you girls write this book, or did you all research all this that goes
We
into that?
researched it.
You researched all this?
Yes.
Wow.
It
Yeah.
took a long time.
Yes, it
We
did.
would go to the library and we would go on those
Microfiche.
film machines, and you would turn them, and you know you'd have to wait and
Did you go to
Make
individual
figures.
people and talk to people?
Oh, yes, yes.
Elderly
a
people
lot of
that,
people. Mhm.
elderly people, and say those that were way back.
Right.
And remember their grandfathers.
Yeah.
And we searched the internet, you know, a lot of places, you know, a lot of
That's quite a
sites
bit.
on the
Yeah.
internet.
That's a lot of research you girls did.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
It took a long time, and we
How
had
long would it take you all to do all this? Put all this together?
A few years.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Okay, just leave it at that.
It took us, we had a horrible time because our computers were not compatible. So when we'd send things back and forth to each other, the pictures would move and everything would be distorted and out of place.
Yeah.
And it was a nightmare. But we got through it, and we were able to get it together. We figured it out after a
Right.
while, and it was fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was a whole lot of fun.
Now, when did
You
this
know.
go into publishing?
Well, it has been published once,
Oh, it has been.
yes. And then we needed another
We had to do a second.
second printing.
The
And
first one was in December,
Right.
right?
Oh.
Yeah. And then we just now ordered a second printing. We had no idea the first time how many we
Great.
were gonna need. We were
Yeah.
taking orders, and we just ordered as we were getting the people's names.
Is this from the beginning when River of Oz was founded, from the very beginning on?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it also had the name Stobtown because of the Stobbs that lived there they owned a lot of the ground and
Yeah.
stuff.
So you really did a lot of work on this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's called River of Clay. You know,
It's
it's
beautiful.
called River of Clay. Yes, it is a very pretty picture.
I like the picture on the cover.
And that stands for River of Ah
In French.
in French.
That is just beautiful. I love that.
And on the back, if you turn it around, that's the picture of the town long ago. Still had the mill and the store and everything on the blacksmith shop on there.
Yeah.
It's not real clear, but it's there. You can see it. So we were
So
glad.
you researching from the very beginning to the end, to
Yeah.
now, to the present. Not saying not the end, but the present.
Our present, our latest article was the solar eclipse.
Right.
Was
So
what?
The
The
solar
solar
eclipse.
So,
Oh, wow.
so we
Yeah.
went up until then.
Well, that is great. You put a lot into that.
Yeah.
We
Now,
did.
where have you got this for sale at? Or
They
is it
can-
by order, or is it
By order.
by order?
But we,
By order.
we are gonna have some, you know, at the house from the second printing in either one of our houses. And they can contact either one of
Right.
us.
And we have a few around St. John.
Okay.
Around town.
Contact either one of you?
Yes.
Right.
Okay. Is there any more, well, I'd like to hear more about the book.
Okay.
I really would.
Okay, well, we put a section in there of the different schools that was in, out, you know, in that area. And, there was a Borman or Morning Shade School, Cornwall Copper School,
Copper mine.
Coppermine School, Free State School, a Rigdon School, a Pine
Pine
Hill,
Hill.
also known as Smith School, and then there were some teachers that, you know, that taught a parish school of religion whenever, you know, the nuns quit coming, you know. There was 3 different nuns. There was Sisters of the Most Precious Blood, Sisters of St. Joseph,
St. Joseph and their
and
Ursulines.
Ursuline. And then after that, the parish school of religion made up of the parishioners taught the religion.
That is great. That's awesome.
And the St. Philip and James School closed in '66, I believe was the last year that it was
Think so.
open. And so later on, like in 80, I have to go back and look, but I think it was in the early 80s, they tore the school down. They tore the convent down. And then, like in the town itself, they tore the mill down, they tore the store down. So there's nothing left except,
None of the older buildings are left of the...
no.
No. And that's why it was gonna be a lost, you know.
Because the younger people never knew what it looked like,
Yeah.
you know.
No.
So that's why we were trying to find as many pictures as we could.
Because I've never seen them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're in there. Everything's in
Yeah.
there. There was a few things we couldn't find,
Yeah.
but,
By and large, we found
yeah,
everything.
we found most of it. And, we did a section on the old houses that aren't there anymore, or houses that are 100+ years old.
Yeah.
And I think people really enjoyed that, because,
Now, is there any buildings that are, I don't even remember where River Bob's is, how to get there. Isn't that terrible? But like I said, I don't remember a lot of things, but, is there any, of the older homes first erected that are still there?
oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
Mine is one of them,
Oh, good.
because it was built in 1905.
Oh,
So, yeah, there's a lot of old houses out there yet. And we've got pictures in there. And like I said, even the ones that are gone,
Yeah.
you know, that's in there. So
you have
it
pictures
was
of those.
interesting.
Wonderful. That is great.
And we did a section on businesses, the former businesses, things that were there. We had no idea there was so much stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a lot. Doctors, there was many doctors.
Mhm.
And some
Casket maker.
undertakers, and,
Yeah.
yeah, casket maker.
Oh, my
Um,
gosh.
There was a hat shop, Aunt Mamie's hat shop.
Really?
Yeah.
There was a hat shop there.
Aunt
I'll
Mamie.
be darned.
And she even put if you wanted velour in your casket, she could put that in for you.
Yeah.
she
And
can
we
make it
found out about how much, what was it, like $1 or $5?
$5, I
Yeah,
think.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you
So-
gals were really interested. I mean, that would be fascinating to find all
It
these
was-
old things,
It
you
is.
know.
Yeah.
It is. Well, that's why we couldn't get it finished, because we just kept wanting to find more.
Right.
And now we feel like we need to still be, reporting things that happen, but,
Mhm.
It's like going back in your family history. The more you go, the more you get
yeah, the
interested
more you
in.
dig
Right.
up. Yes.
Mhm.
You go
Yeah.
back, the more you find, and the more
Sure.
you want.
Sure, yeah.
But there is like, let's see, about 12 different current businesses out there, which nobody really realizes that there is that many.
Be darned.
But anyway, so we got a little bit on each one of them, not a real big article, but
Mhm.
we put some in there, a little bit on each one, and I guess we got a picture of almost all of them.
Mm-hmm. Or at least people that live there that maybe have a business somewhere else.
Yeah.
We have a few of those too.
Mhm.
And we did a section on nicknames,
Yeah.
which St.
section on
Genevieve
what?
is big on. Nicknames?
Oh,
Yeah, you know how
Yeah.
St. Genevieve
I
is
find
big.
that interesting. I picked up the book of the one at St. Genevieve with all the nicknames of the back.
Yeah.
I found my husband's nickname in there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of them.
It was fun. And
And there's
we
a lot
put-
of nicknames. This area had a lot.
Oh, yes, yes.
You didn't hardly know anybody by the first
No,
name.
you didn't, and sometimes you still don't know their names.
No.
Not their real name. We put, we got as many class pictures from school as we could find, confirmation, first communion, and, that was fun. So the
Yeah.
people enjoy, a lot of those people couldn't afford back then to buy those pictures,
No, they couldn't.
so they didn't ever see them before. And,
Isn't it?
During that period of time that we wrote this, the Stoptown Road, the road Stoptown or River of Isle was redone. And they tore down the bridge that was there, and they rebuilt the bridge. And we had parties on the bridge, in order to welcome the bridge. And
even if a farewell to the bridge.
Yeah, we had a farewell,
We had
had
a
a-
farewell cake and everything,
yeah, and
fish fries.
anyway, this was, right on the bridge, and we got pictures of it, and,
We've got a little thing there if you want to set it on there that you can.
Oh, close there. Oh,
oh,
we were looking at that, we were wondering what it is. Oh, okay. It doesn't show.
Right here, see if you can get that to stay. You may want to hold it.
Right.
You just set it right there and turn the pages and it'll.
Well, that's hard.
it might be too heavy.
Could be.
Okay, but this is welcoming the new bridge, May 23rd, 2010. Then there was, I don't know, there was Goddell's Swinging Bridge, which a lot of people, from
Oh my
this area
gosh.
remember that. Here's a very old picture of it,
Oh my!
and then that ain't gonna hold.
Now there's a way to set that thing up. I'm
No,
not sure.
it
That's
should
okay.
stay.
I know, there's probably more to
I
it.
can just
I'm
kind
sorry.
of, between us, we can hold it.
It's a little bit taller.
I think that's what it is.
Oh
It's just
my lands!
heavy.
But it was really a lot of fun. Loved meeting all the people that we met.
Oh, I bet
And,
that would be the most interesting to hear
yes,
all
it
these
was.
stories.
It really was. I mean, we've taped a lot of them.
Did you?
Yeah.
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 Well, we
Good.
couldn't remember everything.
No.
So,
That'd be hard to
You couldn't
remember all
write
the
that
little
fast
details
either.
we come up with.
No.
so anyway, we taped it, and then we could listen to the tape and write.
Some of the older guys that we interviewed, we hated it so bad we didn't get it done before they
Yeah.
passed away, and
Oh.
that I really hate that happened, but
Yeah.
so
But
they
you
gave
had
us
a lot
of
of pictures from that book.
Yes.
a bunch.
You're lucky you found some of those older pictures.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are. And, it's so easy nowadays to scan them and take a picture on your phone and send
Oh,
them to each other.
that's true.
The old schools, I mean, we've got pictures of, classes,
Yeah, that's great, isn't it?
yeah. And we ended up with 2 of those.
And you got pictures from the first school on?
Yeah, but it's not a full, yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Let's see.
the big school.
I don't know for sure where it's at here. Right there.
That looks like a very interesting book, and it's
See, this
very
is the
well done.
priest.
That's the priest that were there.
And we had Black history, we had Indians.
Yeah. Here's the
Oh,
school.
my. Isn't that something?
Yeah. And there's our current pastor, Father Craig.
You guys did a lot of research and a lot of work.
Yes, we did. We did.
Yeah.
A lot of long hours
Yeah.
sitting at that computer till
What a labor of love, though.
it is.
Yeah.
It's a-
But that's something like I'd like to do is go back and, go back and go through and find out where the family all came from and everything.
Mhm.
I'd like to go back through my family especially.
What's interesting now is the people who are buying the books,
Yes.
when they tell us what,
Yeah,
you
where can they
know,
purchase a book at?
Oh, okay. They can call me, Jerry Klein,
Okay,
at 573 576
576.
576
Okay,
5530. Or Jeannie,
or you can call me, Jeannie, at,
now give me that back so I get it right. 573,
576
okay,
5530.
okay, good deal.
or Jeannie at 573 535 0780.
Okay,
As I was saying, it's really interesting, the people that are wanting to buy the books now, their ties to River Vaz, and, their relatives that lived here, or maybe they lived here years ago, but, that's the thing I find the most interesting is, and they've been going to all different states. We've got one that went to Canada, and, so they're making their way around.
I never liked history in school.
No, I didn't.
But-
I didn't either, and I wished I would have.
Yeah.
I wish I would too, because I do find that history is fascinating, especially if you know people like moving to St. Genevieve. It was an older town, and I found it was fascinating to learn all about the history of the town and everything. I enjoyed it very
Yeah.
much so. And then I delved back into my family background, and I was very surprised when I found that we are from Abraham Lincoln's family.
Abraham Lincoln's family?
Mhm.
Wow.
Wow,
The founder of our family was an uncle of his.
Wow.
So,
that's pretty cool.
That
yes.
is neat.
I even found his name in the book and, when they came over from England. So I found that out. So I found that was pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it
That
is.
was.
So I found that and I thought, well, that's neat.
Mm-hmm.
I found, so it's really interesting how when you go back, and you can go back and look and you just wonder and you just let your imagination wander.
Right.
Yeah, you do.
And it's wonderful. Now, how much do you sell the book for?
They're $60,
Okay.
and if we have to ship them, it's an additional $9.
Okay, but if you have to ship them, okay.
Right.
But is there any place in town that people can buy or they need to call you?
They can
You don't have
put their
any-
name down.
There's one at the Show Me Shop.
Oh, it's Show Me Shop.
Yeah, there's a list there, and they
Okay.
can sign it, and we'll get a hold of them.
Okay,
And there's also one at Oberly Meats,
Show Me Shop, okay.
and there's also one at Chalmette Winery at the restaurant.
Oh, it's a
Or
Chalmette.
the tasting room restaurant.
Okay,
in Kaufman. And,
that's good.
other than that, we have,
Is there anything that more you want to share about the book? I'm fascinated by it.
are you, well, we should give you one to look at. Yeah, there's just anything we could find.
You can just
We were-
page through this.
I love that picture.
There was, there was mills and mining and feed suppliers and garages, monument makers.
And this, now, is this
trucking.
actually a picture of what's left of the town?
No, that was,
No.
that was long ago.
That was
That
long
was long
ago.
ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We have one, I guess you'd say, used to be Foff's Tavern, and then it was the Copper Mine Restaurant, and from then it was the River Oaks Spas Winery.
Yeah.
But the building's still there, but it's just sitting. It's not open
Oh,
anymore.
I didn't even know there was a Roy King. Courtney.
We didn't either.
Oh, yeah.
That
On
barn.
KMX radio.
That barn sits right along B Road, and that's where they used to have dances.
Oh, really?
That red barn, yeah.
And he played there.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be darned.
Yeah.
This is really, you guys have really put together a book.
It's a little bigger than we
You can
thought it was
page
going to
through
be.
this one if you want, I'm sorry. Oh, that's
We started out, and it was going to be a ring, what
Yeah,
do you want to say, spiral bound. And it was too big, so it wouldn't fit in their machine. So we went to, I'm glad we did. They outsourced it, and
Oh,
this
these
is
are
what they came up
priceless.
with, was a paperback.
These old-time pictures
Yeah,
are
these are,
priceless.
I mean, this is just beautiful.
That is a beautiful,
you.
beautiful book.
Thank you.
I love the cover.
I like the blue. I thought it.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes, I love that.
I just walked down to the creek one day and took the picture, so
Oh, that is just
that was
beautiful.
pretty exciting. And Jerry said that's going to be the cover of our book, so.
yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, you couldn't have picked a nicer picture.
I know. It did turn out.
That is just, it says so much.
But her and I got together, and you can tell how you always wanted to do it.
Oh,
Is that how you started? You two just got together
well,
and decided?
I've always thought about it in the back of my mind. And I started cutting things out of the Herald. Anytime it said anything about, well, I was born and raised in Zell. So anytime it said anything about Zell, I cut it out. Anytime it said anything about where my husband was born and raised, which was out in River Alva, anyway, I would cut it out. And I always knew I wanted to do this.
Oh.
But, you got, raising kids, doing all this stuff, and you just I
Don't
never
have the
got
time.
around to it.
No?
Well, then a friend of mine went ahead and wrote a book. And so I thought, oh, now darn, I should be able to do it too. So I started on it a little bit more, and then, Jean, what
And
happened?
then I saw this book that somebody had done on Bloomsdale. And I just thought that was the greatest thing, all those old pictures, and I was from Bloomsdale, so I remembered a lot of those places. And I thought, gosh, that'd be neat to do of River Boggs. So I called that person, and she said, well, Jerry Klein is going to do that too. So she said, you really need to call her. So I did, and that's how we got started.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, that's wonderful.
yeah.
I think that's just great.
Well, it was a little more motivation when there was two of us together, and
Split the
Well,
word.
when you
Yeah.
start out something,
Yeah.
it sounds so simple, but then
Yeah.
when you get
oh,
into it,
it was a
it's-
lot of work.
Yeah, and it's not near as much fun going to the
To interview people. And,
to interview people, or to go to the community center and to the library part
Oh,
and read these papers, or it's not near as much fun to do any of this stuff.
by yourself.
And no, and granted, there probably, well, I know there is a couple of different, what would you say, errors,
Oh yeah, there's some boo-boos in there.
But we're not professionals.
No,
We don't claim to be.
it's a book from the heart.
Right.
It is,
Right.
very much, yeah.
It's a book from the heart. You took the
Right.
time and the patience and the interest to do it.
But we've gotten a lot of really very good reviews on it. I mean,
Oh,
Well,
people are
good.
just, they're so pleased with it,
They
you know?
are.
Oh, well, that's wonderful.
This is
That's
what I
wonderful.
always like when I see books like this, is the family names that are still in the area.
yeah.
Yeah,
And we made every effort we could to put every woman's maiden name in there.
Oh,
That's
my
a-
lands.
We tried.
maiden and
There was a
married.
few we, probably couldn't find out, but we made that effort to do that.
Yeah,
So that everyone would know who they are.
Well, that is
Yeah.
awesome. That's wonderful to do that, because a lot of times people write a book and they don't.
Right.
the
right,
names
and they
in.
don't really, then you don't really know for sure.
No.
And
you
in
don't.
St. Genevieve, there's so many people with the same name,
Oh, that's
you
true.
know, so, we
That's
thought
just
that would
like with
help.
the nicknames,
Sure,
If you didn't put the real name down, you never know who you was
Oh,
talking about.
exactly.
No,
Yeah.
And that's with these maiden names. It's
Mhm.
great that you did all that. That's wonderful. I
Yeah.
think that is just awesome. Anybody has the time and the patience and
I don't know if we had time, but, yeah.
at times I imagine it got difficult.
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, it was at times.
And then we finally pushed ourselves to get it finished, and we're
Mhm.
glad we did now.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, we did push a little.
yeah, a little.
At times I imagine it would get, but that is really awesome. That is really,
Mhm.
I think it's wonderful that you put all those pictures in there.
I think that makes it.
I
You
think
know,
so too.
definitely.
That makes,
Well-
it makes more interesting, makes it more you feel closer to the people and to the book
Right,
itself and to
right.
And like having a picture of the sisters, that taught these people, you'd be surprised at how many people look, oh, I wonder if Sister so-and-so's in there. She
Yeah.
taught me, at
Yeah,
this
I remember
time.
her, or,
You
Yeah.
even go, I have
That's
no
what makes
connection,
it
and
so
I'm
awesome.
looking for sisters I know.
Is that,
So-
you put all that in and you put the maiden names in and those, and they remember those and they
Yes.
see them.
Mhm.
Yes.
That is what's awesome about it. And even this picture of the kids in school.
And even the church, they renovated the church back a few,
Oh.
2, 3 years ago. And we went all through that with it, took pictures and kept up with what they were doing, and put the finished pictures in, what it looked like when it was done.
That's a great memory for years to
Yeah.
come.
Yeah,
Great.
So, but yeah, it was a lot of fun, and
This would be fun at a nursing
I
home.
know we have our reunion, our class reunion, and we went up with every 10 or every 5 years we did. And now, after we got to our 60, we had every year.
Yeah.
aw, that's
And those
neat.
didn't make it.
Yeah.
So we're down, but we had a very small class. And
You
we're
said
down
that
quite
would
a
be
bit.
fun in a nursing home.
But I think that is so great when you
Uh.
can get all those little pictures.
Yeah, one lady had bought one for her husband, and he wanted one. When I talked to him, his father had a shop in River Boss.
Oh.
And when I just searched that name on the internet, and his son's name popped up, so I called him, and he had this picture. So he told me, he said, now make sure you let me know when it's done, I want one. Well, by the time we got it done, he's in the nursing home.
Oh.
So anyway, his wife wanted him to have one, and so I took it and I delivered it to him at the nursing home in Farmington. But he
Oh,
was
my
really,
Bet
really,
he loved
really
it, yeah.
happy with it. So,
Oh, I bet he was just really thrilled.
well, he was fine. I mean, he would just fall at home and
Yes.
stuff. So, what better to give him? He's got nothing but time in there. So,
That's
Oh,
something
even
good.
people with memory loss.
And that
Oh,
brings
yeah.
back,
This
that brings
works
Yeah,
back a
for
lot of
them, sure.
memories to him
Yeah.
too.
yeah, I'm sure, especially in the line you're in, you see that. But we've had people say they've read it through 2 and 3 times.
yes.
So it's neat
Really?
to hear. Oh, we got a letter. A young guy wrote us both a letter, and
Two separate letters. I
two
mean, they're
separate
probably,
letters.
they read the same,
Took
but,
the time to do that, sent it to us, and told us how he enjoyed the book and how his parents gave it to him and his siblings for Christmas.
Oh, that's
And
wonderful.
he just
That is
wanted to
just
let us
super.
know. So that really meant a lot to us. And so
Oh, it-
many people have,
You should be proud of yourself
Mm-hmm.
thank you.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
for doing that, because I think that is awesome. And anybody has the time and the patience and the love to want to go back in history and find all this
Yeah.
out. That is just wonderful.
well, thanks.
So now,
So
And
now,
that is an awesome book. You've got a lot in there.
yeah, we do.
And as you said, with the pictures, it makes a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It makes a lot of difference.
Right.
yeah,
A lot of people just like to look at pictures. They
Oh,
don't.
yeah.
They don't like to read, as much. Maybe they're not real good readers, and but they enjoy going through and just looking at the pictures.
Well, they see the picture and then they'll read
Yeah,
what's on
they
that
might
page,
do,
and
yeah.
that kind of makes it interesting too.
Right.
But that is really awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's just fun from a standpoint of even if you weren't from that area. Like, I just found a picture of a lady who I know worked at the senior center, and I know that picture's in the
Really?
senior center.
Oh, really?
Because I recognize the stuff in the background.
Really?
So, and she's like cutting, she's got a big tub for a kraut, and I was like, oh, that's so cool.
Oh,
So neat.
yeah, it was. I mean, we just
Neat.
anything we could find. There's one man out there, John Follert. He makes or he puts his buckets out on the trees, and he makes maple syrup every year. So that was just, you could see his buckets everywhere, hanging on the trees. So we took pictures of that. And anything anything that was going on, We stood out in the cold one morning.
yes.
Watched, what was his name? Was it
Uh,
Rob Jones?
Bob,
Rob Jones.
Rob Jones.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
He only had one leg. He had an artificial
Oh, my
leg.
goodness.
And he was riding a bicycle.
in the
across-
snow.
It was snowing. There wasn't snow on the ground.
No, but on the side of the
But,
road.
yeah,
there
on the
was.
side of the road. And we stood out there in the cold, and we took his picture as he went by. And he was going cross country, right?
I think so. I don't remember
Yeah,
exactly,
it's
but,
in there. But,
I
Um,
found your bucket picture.
yeah,
oh, yeah.
there's our buckets. Or his buckets.
Oh my gosh.
And,
yeah. But see, like he came through Stoptown, and then you had the tour of Missouri who came through Stoptown, or River Alcohol. And,
oh, and the big truck.
oh, yeah.
That huge, long truck that they brought through
Oh,
River
that-
Buzz and took it through Eisenbei's Bottom Road. And they didn't want to take it through the main roads,
Well, it wouldn't
Into St.
fit because
Genevieve.
of the
stoplights.
stoplights. Because it wouldn't
They
go.
probably couldn't get them
Oh,
under
the
my bed,
Budweiser?
yeah.
Mhm.
There it is. How long was it? It was like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
so that was fun.
yeah.
Trying to watch them go around all those snake S curves. And
Well, that is really a well put together book. The pictures, I think pictures make a lot of your book.
it
Yeah,
does.
that's why we both wanted a lot of pictures in there, and I think we did. I'm satisfied with the. all
Yeah,
the
and they did
pictures
a
we got.
really good job printing the book.
'Cause
Yes, they did.
No matter how good the book is, if it's just nothing but reading in it,
Oh, yeah.
it's boring.
It's boring. Yeah.
Right.
After a while, you get to
Yeah.
where, oh, you even got the eclipse of the sun in there.
Yeah, that was.
What? Yeah, that was the
last-
last thing we did was the eclipse.
Yeah, I've got a
Yeah.
picture of that.
Someplace.
I sat in my daughter's backyard and watched that. Oh, yeah.
We were at
think
at our house.
We were too.
That is good.
Here's some of the older residences.
Oh, that is just wonderful. You gals did a lot of research there.
Yeah. Well, most people were really helpful,
Oh, yeah.
pictures.
I bet you with even pictures they had. They had pictures of,
Sometimes,
you know,
we
it-
think we could have got more, but
you never think about these old buildings, you just tear them down, but when you stop and think about them, golly, if you just stop and take a minute and take a picture of
Right.
that, someplace along the line, you might wanna see
right,
that.
exactly.
Because that's history.
Right.
And they tear them down, it's like,
And then they're gone.
There's
some
some
they have
beautiful,
to tear down,
Yeah,
but some of them they
sometimes
don't
need
have to.
right, there's some beautiful pictures, or buildings in St. Genevieve.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, if you really look, up at the top, I mean, they're just beautiful.
We take it for granted, the history,
Yeah.
But out there, the store, they said the last dance they had there, I think it was getting really bad. The
Yeah.
floor was,
Yes.
yeah, it was
You know,
rotten.
sometimes you have to tear them down,
Yeah.
you don't want to, but you have to.
Yeah.
That's-
They let them go too long, and
Yeah.
that's sad.
Yes,
But,
it is.
That really makes your book, that is a beautiful book. Gals
Thank
did
you.
great,
Thank you very much.
great, you should be proud of yourself.
Yeah, we are, and you hate to say it, but I love when somebody reads it or looks at it and does say something about it,
Right.
Because no one's ever said anything bad about it,
No,
have they?
well, not to us.
Yeah, not to our face.
I don't think there'd be any reason to. I mean, that's just pretty awesome.
No. And it was hard, and we got in there in the very beginning, we might not have everything the way it was, but we tried and we did our best and we went from what we found and what people told us.
Well, what
That's all
you
you
found in
can do.
pictures and what people told you and what you know.
Right. And sometimes there was conflicting stories we got,
Oh,
Yeah.
and we couldn't prove one was correct over the other one, so we put in there,
Yeah. Although we're not sure,
yeah,
something on the order.
yeah.
that's good.
I mean,
But
it didn't
that is
happen
a beautiful
much.
book.
No, I don't think.
That is
But,
beautiful.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that you'd like to say about it?
Oh,
I think you did a
no,
great
but-
job.
Well, thank you. If you know anybody that wants one,
Yeah.
give us a call.
Okay, I've got your numbers down here, and then contact me.
Okay,
Okay.
that sounds good.
I've got both your numbers, and you did say that you can go down to the Show Me Shop and order 'em.
The Show Me Shop, Oberle's, and Chalmette Winery.
Oh, Overleys?
Yes,
Oh,
there's sign-up sheets.
well, great.
All we need is their phone number and their name.
A lot of people got Overleys.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I think that's just wonderful. I'm so thankful that you came. I'm glad I got to be here.
And we appreciate you letting
We
us
do.
come.
Thank
Oh,
you very
anytime
much.
you've got
Yes,
anything you
thank you.
want, just
Yeah.
come back.
And we missed
Anytime.
Iris being here.
I'm well, I was gonna say I'm in the book, but they don't have the book for people in here anymore.
Yeah.
You have to remember it. But I'm easy to find. Cause you just call City Hall.
Okay.
My daughter
Okay.
works here.
Okay.
She's I don't know what she is. She does everything. Sue Swats is her name. So, anytime that you have questions, or you would like to call ours, call me.
Okay.
Okay.
Anytime you'd like to come on with anything, we'd love to have either one of these.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
We love to have people come in and show what is going on, and because a lot of people don't get a paper, and a lot of people just don't, pick up, and they just don't remember
All
things.
right.
I want to know what website is it, can't we go on the website and see this?
Oh, it's stjen.com.
Actually, I just Googled the name
don't
of
even
the
know if I've
TV
got my
show,
card
the
here or
What's New
not.
in St. Genevieve, and it came up.
That you could watch the videos?
Oh, okay.
You can call City
And
Hall
it's
and find
listed,
out
I
from
mean, they're actually
them.
stored on YouTube, but.
I used to have a
it came
card
up
here,
with
but I
that.
don't even have my card. Doggone it. I should have brought a card along and give it to you gals.
Okay.
That's okay. We can Google it.
I know, what did we do without
But
Google?
City Hall can
isn't
get
that
a
the
hold of us
truth?
anytime.
That's how we found a lot of information in our book,
Yeah,
was
just
Google.
Google, just Google it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's incredible what's actually recorded someplace that you can
Right.
just find it.
Yeah, anytime that you've got anything that you'd like to put out, we'd love to have it.
Okay.
This is just like your little sounding board. If you want people to know something, come and tell us.
Sure.
Okay, well, when, we're gonna be doing one, we did start on one for Zell now. And so, we'll be back. We have to
We'll
get
be back,
pictures
yeah. Yeah, we
from
need,
everybody.
we
need-
can, we can use lots of information
Yes,
for
come back
Zell.
again.
Yeah,
Yeah, if
Please
anybody,
do.
if anybody has anything on Zell, they can contact us too.
pictures,
Okay,
Pictures.
yeah,
On
anything,
Zell?
stories, pictures.
okay.
So I'm guessing that was
I'll,
named
I'll
after a
give them,
family.
I'll give them
Zell.
your numbers.
No, it's named after, Zell.
Actually in Germany.
We're about,
There's a,
Yeah,
there
there's
was a Zell
So,
yeah.
way back.
But love for you to come back
Mhm. Sure.
with some more,
Okay. Sounds
because I know you didn't cover that book.
No,
You
I'm
just
sure we
took-
did.
You just got
Oh,
the
yeah.
edges.
Mhm.
You just got the
In the
edges of
meantime,
it,
we
but we
figure
know
out
it's
how
out there.
Yeah, no kidding.
And we want you to come back also.
okay, well, thank
We'd
you.
love to have you
I'm just
go.
honored to be here
Thank
and
And
always like being in St. John.
do you have anything, last minute thing you'd like to say?
No, just thank you.
Well,
missed-
thank you for being here and thank you for putting up with me since I'm by
Oh,
myself.
No, you did
It was,
well.
yeah, it was real good.
If there's any questions, you can still ask us. You can call us. And we will gladly answer. The
Okay.
ladies will answer your question, or you can call them. And we enjoyed your speech, and we enjoyed you.
Well,
Thanks
thank you
for
very
the
much.
books.
Thank you.
Bringing them in is wonderful.
Okay.
It is great. I think that's wonderful.
Mhm.
And if anybody has anything else to say, you can call us and ask these ladies some questions. Otherwise, we will close the show tonight. And thank you both for coming
Okay.
and bringing your books in. And thank you for coming.
Well,
Bringing
thank you.
yours in
Thank you.
too.
Honored to be here.
So, thank you all, and all of you have a very good evening. And we hope that it doesn't rain too hard, or doesn't get too cold, or weather settles down and do something. For goodness
help us
sake,
here,
thank you all
sister.
for coming.
All right.
You're
And
welcome,
thank you
thank
for
you.
watching the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.